As you walk around, always look out for scenes which lead somewhere, like these stairs going up. It really draws you into a frame and makes for a great picture. And I really like the way that these stairs look, and I quite like the way that these railings are leading you up into the frame. And if there's somebody interesting around here, they could also be part of your subject. But the problem with this composition is everything is the same brightness. It could do with some contrast, some darkness, some shadow in there to make it more interesting. So the first thing I'm going to do is try and find something to frame the picture. And I've positioned myself here because there is this roof section which is overhanging. And depending on where I position the camera or myself, I can chop off as much of the sky as I want. And that's solved this section at the top. But it's still too bright here. I could do with some more contrast. But this roofed area is also casting this really nice dramatic shadow on the side and on the flooring. And this has created this really nice, sharply defined geometric shape, which is framing the actual subject which interested me in the first place. And I can make it more dramatic by adjusting the brightness. I could make it a bit darker, and that way I'm really seeing a big contrast between light and dark. Now I'm really happy with the way that that looks, but you could hang around and wait for someone who looks interesting to walk up or down and give some more focus to your shot. But I think that's looking pretty good. So let's check them out and review and see which we like best. For this shot, I've just got a plain picture of the staircase, and I like the angle on the railings here, leading your eyes up to the people walking up and down. But as a whole, it just doesn't work. Everything is the same brightness, there's too much sky, there's just not enough contrast in this picture, and that's because of the bright midday sun. But there are ways to reframe this to actually make that sun work for you. For this view, I've gone for a wider angle that has allowed me to incorporate this overhanging roof, and this in turn allows me to crop the top of the frame, and by moving closer or further away or up or down, I can adjust the position of this to fill exactly the amount of frame that I'm after. That has fixed the top, but not the sides and the bottom. For me, it's still not very interesting, and it's also missing any people on there. For this picture, I've utilised the overhanging roof and the overhead midday sun, which has cast a shadow on the left-hand wall and the ground beneath it, and it's created this really sharply defined geometric shape. And I've accentuated the difference between light and dark by also darkening. I've reduced the brightness of this picture, so this is darker and this section really pops. I quite like the composition as it is, but then I waited for some people to come along, and I like the way that this person's walking up and this one is walking down. It gives some life to the picture. Overall, I'm pleased with this, and this is the one that I post.